Hi, this is Jennifer with Honeybee Woodworking, and this week's tutorial is going to be over repurposing or refurbishing old furniture, specifically as it refers to sanding and staining. And this is my son, Sean. He's going to be helping us out today. He has used the sander before, but he has never done this process, so he's going to help us out to show how easy it can be. Okay. Here are the pieces that we are going to be refinishing. They are the doors off of a piece of furniture that we were given to repurpose. You'll find that furniture that you buy at most furniture stores are not necessarily good quality wood, or at least places from Walmart, things like that. You're going to find that a lot of it is particle board, and the nice looking stuff is actually this glued on material over the top. So the first thing we have to do once the glue starts peeling off and this starts peeling away to fix this type of furniture, or any type of furniture for that matter, is to remove the stain and possibly the polyurethane top coat that we tend to use before you can resand and restain. With furniture like this, the first thing you're going to want to do is to remove anything by hand that can be removed. I'm going to let Sean go ahead and get started with that while we go over some different kinds of sanding options and sandpaper options and what they mean. Okay, you can always sand by hand. And that's what we have these for. Just general use sandpaper. You can pick it up at any hardware store, Walmart, most local stores. You can wrap it around an old piece of wood, or they have sand blocks that you can use, or they even have little blocks that you can buy that have sandpaper on them. Hand sanding takes a little more time and a little more energy, but certainly one way to go about it. A second option is some type of a electric hand sander. Ugh, my tongue's not working. Something like this. Black & Decker happens to be the one that we use. An on-off switch up here on top. You just place it on the furniture, kind of move it in a circular motion until everything comes off that we need off. Now, as far as sandpaper, you have, the one we just showed here is 220. It's very, very fine. And it goes up to, generally what you can find in the stores, up to 60. As the numbers get smaller, the grains of sand get much coarser. I'm sorry, more coarse. As you can see with this 220, that's a used piece, but over here you can see that the grains are very, very fine. That is for a light sanding. Say you've already stained your furniture and then you put on your, you need to sand it down a little bit before you put on your top gloss, or you're going to put on several layers of polyurethane and you want to lightly sand between layers. Never, never sand your top layer of polyurethane, but you can lightly sand your layers in between, all but the top layer. And for that you would want to use 220 or larger numbered sandpaper. Here's our 60, and as you can see, here's our difference. This is obviously much more coarse. This is for, say you've got some warped wood or something that requires a bit more sanding. It's going to take longer. With this type of sandpaper, it would take a long time to sand that down. Not impossible, but it would take a long time to sand it down. But with this type of sandpaper, the job tends to go a little faster. So this is our 60, this is our 220, and then you've got several different types in between. You've got 150 is a fine, but not very fine. 100 is a medium, and then again our 60 is our coarse. So the smaller numbers are for bigger sanding jobs that you need to get farther down, and the larger numbers are for much lighter sandings. As you can see, he's over here and he's peeling off the pieces that are already off. And it's not an easy job. I mean, they do glue it on there pretty good, but there's going to be a point where you just can't peel any more off by hand, and you have to go on with the sander. Since he's got this piece done, let's pause with what you're doing there, bub, and let's switch back to this one. Let's start with the hand sanding. Okay, let's start with the hand sander. Let's start with, let's show the difference between a 60, what happens with a 60 and a 220. So let's sit down right here and go ahead and sand away on this painted area here so we can see what it looks like when you use a more coarse grain. Not impossible by hand, but it's a little more difficult, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, just a couple of swipes. Okay, pause right there, bub. Just a couple of swipes, you can see that you've already gotten pretty far with that. Okay, let's flip it over and let's use the 220. And I want you to do the same process for about the same amount of time. Okay? Okay, stop right there. Let's brush that off. Actually, what you just saw, like I said, that piece had been used. Most of what just came off there was actually powder from the previous one. And that's actually all that 220 did. See, yeah, there's extra sand still on there from the last project we did. But you can see it takes a longer time with the very fine. So if you've got something that's going to take a while, you may want to use your lower numbered sandpaper to complete the job. Okay. Now we've shown how to do it by hand. Let's show them how to use the sander. It's a pretty standard, pretty simple process. You lay your sander on there and turn it on. Okay. Go ahead and remove that. Just a matter of seconds, you have removed a big portion of the glued on, I'm not sure what they call that, but the glued on portion of the wood. Okay. And those are your options, and that is pretty much how simple it is. Let's let you go ahead and get the rest of that off of there. Work around the outside first. You can lay it flat. Just make sure you pull everything off the sides first, okay? Okay, hang on, bub. Okay, since this is going to take a few minutes and it's going to be loud, we'll go ahead and come back to this as soon as it's all stripped.